This was about 3 or 4 days before my due date, and I was starting to have contractions, and I called my husband home from work.
And she told me, she said, "David, it's coming." And I said, "No, just keep breathing," and we was going through all the breathing and stuff.
I told David, I said, "You need to look, there's something wrong, the baby, I think, is coming."
She said, "It's coming," and I said, "No, it's not." And she said, "Look, it is too," and I looked, and there's just a little head looking at me.
And he started hollering, to start pushing, and the baby came on out, but something was wrong, and she wasn't breathing. And I was just pleading with David, do something. Don't let her die. And
I remember seeing on that Rescue 911 show, the husband called and said, "My wife's having a baby." Dispatcher told him she got to clean the fluids out of her lungs. So I took her and I put my mouth over her nose and her mouth, and I sucked the fluids out of her lungs, and I just, that quick, and then I swatted her on the bottom, and then it was the most beautiful sound you ever heard in your life. It was when she started crying. And then I wrapped her up in my T-shirt, and we just sat there and cried together until we got to the hospital.
She's starting to walk. She's cutting lots of teeth. And she's our miracle baby.
I really think that they helped save my daughter's life because of that one show they aired. I'm glad I paid attention. If I hadn't paid attention, I might not have a little girl right now.
When it comes to saving lives, it's not enough to watch how first aid is done by others. In order to perform the techniques effectively, you need training. There are courses available through the American Red Cross and the American Heart Association that can teach you to be prepared if a loved one or a stranger needs your help. This series is dedicated to all the men, women, and children whose bravery and compassion remind us that anything is possible if you care enough to get involved. I'm William Shatner. Join us again next week for more true stories on Rescue 911.